Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that the closer you get to a breakthrough, the harder things seem to get? It's like the moment you decide you're ready for change, ready for that promotion, ready for love, ready for success, suddenly everything goes wrong. Your car breaks down, your phone dies, people start acting weird around you, unexpected bills show up, drama finds you even when you're minding your own business, and you start thinking, maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I should just go back to playing it safe. But here's what nobody tells you about the way the universe operates. It doesn't hand out blessings to people who aren't ready to handle them. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone get exactly what they thought they wanted, only to watch them completely self-destruct? The lottery winner who goes bankrupt within 5 years, the person who gets the dream job and can't handle the pressure, the relationship that seemed perfect until it became real and messy and required actual work. The universe isn't cruel, it's strategic. It's not trying to keep good things from you, it's trying to prepare you for them. Because receiving a blessing you're not ready for isn't actually a blessing at all. It's a burden that will crush you under its weight. So before life gives you what you've been asking for, it makes sure you can handle it. And that process, that preparation, it doesn't feel like preparation when you're in the middle of it. It feels like punishment. The test isn't about proving you're worthy. You were always worthy. The test is about expanding your capacity to receive and maintain what you're asking for. It's about building the internal strength, the emotional resilience, the mental clarity, and the spiritual foundation that can support the weight of your answered prayers. Because here's the thing about blessings. They're heavy. They require responsibility. They demand growth. They ask you to become someone you've never been before. Most people pray for a better life while staying the same person. They want different results with the same habits, the same mindset, the same patterns, the same reactions to pressure. But you can't pour new wine into old wineskins without everything falling apart. The container has to expand to hold what's coming. And that expansion, that stretching of who you are, it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Every test you're facing right now is asking you a question. Not whether you deserve what you want, but whether you can become the person who can handle what you want. Can you stay calm when everything around you is chaotic? Can you make decisions from wisdom instead of fear when the stakes are high? Can you hold on to your values when it would be easier to compromise? Can you love people even when they're not loving you back? Can you keep working when you can't see the results yet? These aren't abstract philosophical questions. These are practical examinations of your character, your resilience, your faith. And every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you respond with maturity instead of reacting with emotion, every time you hold on to hope when logic says quit, you are passing another level of the test. You're proving not to the universe, but to yourself, that you can handle what's coming next. But here's where most people get stuck. They think the test is supposed to be easy. They think if something is meant for them, it should flow without resistance. They interpret struggle as a sign they're on the wrong path, instead of recognizing it as confirmation they're on the right one. Because easy things don't change you. Comfortable situations don't stretch you. Simple challenges don't prepare you for complex blessings. The universe sends you tests that are specifically designed for who you need to become, not for who you are right now. That's why your test looks different from everyone else's. That's why what breaks other people barely scratches you, and what seems simple for others feels impossible for you. Your test is customized. It's personal. It's targeting the exact areas where you need to grow to be ready for what you've been asking for. Think about the people in your life who seem to have everything together, the ones who handle pressure with grace, who make difficult decisions without falling apart, who love without losing themselves, who succeed without becoming arrogant. You think they were just born that way? You think they never struggled, never doubted, never faced impossible situations that demanded more from them than they thought they had to give? Every person who carries themselves with that kind of quiet confidence, that unshakable peace, that authentic strength, they earned it. They were tested. They were stretched. They were forced to discover parts of themselves they didn't even know existed. They learned to find stability in instability, to create calm in chaos, to generate hope in hopeless situations. Not because they're special, but because they were willing to become special. They were willing to let the test transform them instead of just trying to survive it. And that's the difference between people who pass the test and people who just endure it. Enduring is about getting through. Passing is about growing through. Enduring focuses on when it will end. Passing focuses on who you're becoming while it's happening. Enduring asks why this is happening to you. Passing asks what this is trying to teach you. The universe isn't testing you to see if you'll break. It already knows you won't break because you're still here, still fighting, still believing in something better even when everything looks worse. The universe is testing you to see how much you can expand, how much strength you didn't know you had, how much wisdom you can develop under pressure, how much love you can maintain in the face of difficulty. Right now, while you're in the middle of what feels like the hardest season of your life, something remarkable is happening beneath the surface. Your capacity is expanding. Your resilience is deepening. Your intuition is sharpening. Every challenge that's making you question everything is actually answering questions you didn't even know you needed to ask. Questions about your strength, your values, your ability to love when love isn't easy, your willingness to keep going when going gets impossible. You see, the universe has this interesting way of preparing you for blessings you can't even imagine yet. While you're focused on the one thing you think you want, life is busy preparing you for something so much bigger than what you originally asked for. That promotion you've been praying for, the universe isn't just preparing you to handle a new job title. It's preparing you to handle the influence, the responsibility, the ability to impact other people's lives that comes with real leadership. That relationship you've been hoping for, the universe isn't just preparing you to be loved. It's preparing you to love someone else at a depth you've never experienced, to build something together that requires skills you don't even know you're developing right now, to show up as a partner, not just as someone who needs a partner. That financial breakthrough you've been working toward, the universe isn't just preparing you to have money. It's preparing you to steward resources, to create opportunities for others, to handle abundance without losing your soul or your connection to what really matters. Every test is specific. Every challenge is strategic. Nothing is random and nothing is wasted. That betrayal that shattered your trust, it's teaching you how to trust wisely, how to see people clearly, how to protect your energy without closing your heart. That failure that embarrassed you publicly, it's teaching you that your worth isn't determined by other people's opinions, that you can survive the worst case scenario and still be okay. That courage isn't the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. That loss that broke you open, it's teaching you that you're stronger than you knew, that love doesn't disappear when people do, that grief and gratitude can exist in the same space, that endings aren't always punishments, but sometimes preparation for beginnings you couldn't have imagined before. The universe is showing you that you can handle more than you thought, that you can carry more weight, navigate more complexity, love more deeply, forgive more completely, create more powerfully than you ever believed possible. But you had to be tested to discover this about yourself. You had to be pushed to your limits to find out where your limits actually are. And most of the time, they're much further out than you imagined. Here's what's really wild about this process. The very thing that's testing you right now, the situation that feels like it might destroy you, that's probably the exact skill set you'll need for what's coming next. The patience you're developing while waiting for your breakthrough, you're going to need that patience to build something sustainable once the breakthrough comes. The perseverance you're discovering while everything seems impossible, you're going to need that perseverance to maintain what you create when creation requires consistency over years, not just months. The compassion you're learning while dealing with difficult people, you're going to need that compassion when you're in positions where other people's livelihoods depend on your decisions. The wisdom you're gaining while making mistakes, you're going to need that wisdom when the stakes are higher and the margin for error is smaller. But here's where it gets tricky. The test isn't just about developing these qualities. It's about integrating them. It's about making them part of who you are, not just something you do when you have to. Because anyone can be patient when things are going well. Anyone can be kind when people are being kind to them. Anyone can stay positive when life is positive. The test is about becoming the kind of person who can access these qualities when they're needed most, when patience is inconvenient, when kindness isn't reciprocated, when staying positive requires you to generate hope from nothing but faith. That's when you discover who you really are. That's when you prove to yourself that you're ready for blessings that require you to be unshakable. And the universe is watching. Not judging, just observing. Waiting to see if you'll become bitter or better. Waiting to see if you'll use this pressure to create diamonds or dust. Waiting to see if you'll let this experience close your heart or crack it open so wide that more love can flow through than ever before. The test never ends, by the way. Even after you receive what you've been asking for, even after the breakthrough comes, even after life starts flowing in ways that feel miraculous, there will be new tests, different tests, bigger tests, because growth never stops and capacity can always expand. And there's always another level of blessing waiting for someone who can handle another level of responsibility. So if you're in the middle of what feels like the hardest test of your life right now, if everything seems to be falling apart just when you thought you were ready for your breakthrough, take a breath and recognize what's really happening. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're not being held back. You're being built up. The universe isn't testing you because it doubts you. It's testing you because it knows exactly what you're capable of, and it's making sure you know it too. Every challenge you're facing right now is preparing you for a blessing you can't even see yet. Every moment you choose to keep going when everything in you wants to quit, every time you respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion, every decision you make from love instead of fear, you're passing the test. You're proving to yourself that you can handle whatever comes next. Your blessing is coming, not because you've suffered enough, but because you've grown enough. Not because you've endured long enough, but because you've evolved deep enough. The universe has been preparing something specifically for the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. And when it arrives, when that door finally opens, when that breakthrough finally comes, you'll understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. You'll look back at this season of testing and realize it wasn't the obstacle to your blessing. It was the pathway to it. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that what's being prepared for you is worth every moment of preparation you're going through right now. Your test is almost over. Your blessing is on the way.